for a little while. I have no affiliation with Neural DSP and they don't reply to my emails. The only time that I've tried the Nolly plugin, I think, is when I had a trial a couple of years back maybe, and I wanted to dig back into it. So I sent them an email, well, no, not an email, sent one of the guys a message and he obviously didn't respond. But I downloaded the trial again just because I thought I'd really like to check this out again. And I'm really enjoying this plugin, and I think, to be fair, any one of the Archetype plugins or Neural DSP plugins that you choose, except for the 14 stuff, I don't think has the reverb and delay, but most of them are more versatile than I think it might seem from some of the demos that you see. Like, obviously there's a crowd that are into this stuff who are particularly into heavy music with headless guitars and all that sort of stuff, but that aside, I feel like there is some good stuff lurking about in these plugins. So this was just a preset that I dialed in on the first amp, I think. Which is kind of a glassy, classic Vox-y type lead that I don't think I've been able to dial in with any of the others. Maybe the Henson amp might be able to do that sort of thing. But I found that a really inspiring kind of tone to use, and I'll show you the settings for these on the screen, or I'll drop them into my Neural DSP folder anyway. If you want to use the Buy Me a Coffee link, you can grab them. But I feel like this is still quite a good value purchase. I don't know if they haven't done the update for this like they have for some of the others. Maybe that's coming in the future. But this one has 4 amps in it and they're slightly varied. I think the idea is that one of them is a Bogner Shiva, one of them is a JCM. I think one of them is the Victory Countess but modified, and there's one other one which is out of my head. Anyway, but so the other really cool sound that I liked from this was this big thick lead tone that you heard in the intro there. Now I've used the 4th amp for this. I think I've mismatched the cabs, but for me I really like this as a lead tone. I think more than any other lead tone that I managed to dial in on the Neural DSP stuff. Probably including the Quad Cortex itself, but big, thick kind of lead tone. I did dial in some other presets and stuff, which I'll drop into the folder if you want, but I'm just going to show you just that clean tone and the lead tone, so you can dial that in yourself if you have Archetype Nolly, or if you want to use the trial, you can try it free for 14 days I think, which is what I've done to share this tone with you if you were at all interested. I know this video is not necessarily going to do terribly well because it's not exactly a current or, you know, even recent release, but I think there's still some good tones to be had in there. And potentially some of you watching might still have Nolly or might be thinking about checking it out. So let me know if that was at all useful. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll drop these tones into the Neural DSP Buy Me a Coffee link thing. If you've already done that before, the old link will still work, so you can just grab these tones anyway. But I'm really digging the Nolly thing still. So I think of the ones that I've tried recently, I found like the John Petrucci one covered some kind of new territory. I've had the Corey Wong one and Plenty one for a while. I feel like this Nolly one might actually still be worth a look. So give it a try. I feel like having the 4 amps in there makes it a kind of worthwhile thing to check out anyway. Some of the others are 3 amp. Might be worth a look. I don't know. Can't say anything too superlative about it, but I feel like that is the best lead tone that I've managed to get out of the Neural DSP stuff, I think. think this is the second amp that I'm using for the cleaner tones. So you see I've got the gain back to about just under 3, the bright switch is on, the bass I've got set to 5, mids at 5, treble at 5, so not touching the tone stack, the presence I've got pushed up to 6, depth at 7, and the master pushed all the way up to 9, so we're getting quite a bit of kind of you know, push into that. I'm not using any compressor, overdrive or delay, and I'm not using the EQ, so this should be fairly straightforward to copy. And then microphone wise, I think I'm using the 57, position at 0.35, distance at 0.10, and level at -12, all standard. And then the condenser 414 on the other side, all straightforward. I've unlinked the cab and I'm using cab 1 with this head. I think you can get some cool tones out of this stuff by unlinking the cabs, just getting different kind of flavours. Then reverb and delay wise, I've got the mod off, ping pong on, sync on, so quarter note. The mix is up at about 33%, the mod is off, so that's irrelevant. Then high cut way back down here at about 45%, and feedback fairly high at maybe about 65% ish. Then mix here again about 33%, low cut and high cut off, and the decay set to just past half, maybe 2 o'clock, 60% something. So that's that edge of breakup kind of tone. I think a clean tone that I put together as well will go in the folder, clean ambient. And for this, I backed the gain off. We're on the amp 1 here for this with the bright switch on. Mids kind of scooped a little bit, but give that a try as well. I think you might dig that. Same cab settings and same delay and reverb. Then for the lead tone, which I'll drop in, there are 2 variations, but I'm using this 4th amp and cab. I've got them linked here. The gain I've got up at about 8.5, 9, you know, nearly all the way up but not quite, so about here. The bass I've got dialed back to about 2, the mids I've got dimed, the treble is up at about 7, and the master is just past halfway, so quite a lot of gain on this. Then also we're using the tube screamer, I'm going to guess this is, with the drive nearly 3/4 of the way up, tone level at halfway, so this is like a really nice, I'd say thick lead tone. And then quite a lot going on with the EQ, so 500 Hz we're boosting by 1.9, 1 kHz we're boosting by 2.9, 2 kHz we're boosting by 2.9, 4 kHz we're cutting by -4.6, and 8 kHz we're dropping by -3.7. And then same mic settings, I think, in cab settings, although we are going to be using the 4th cab, so 57, condenser 414, and as you see the rest of the settings. Then again similar kind of delay settings, I think, ping pong on, feedback here a bit less than halfway, high cut off and low cut off, and the mix just a smidge over 25%. Reverb mix a little bit lower than the clean, maybe just around 20%. The low cut we're bringing that in at about 33%, high cut all the way open, and decay at about 75. So those are my settings that I've used with this. Use the gate to taste, and it's, in terms of level coming into plug-in, I've not heard really anyone talk about this too much, but you want to make sure you're getting probably about 3/4 of the way up here when you play your heavier notes on the meter, is my advice. Anyway, hopefully this was vaguely interesting for anyone thinking about grabbing Nolly, or who's already got it, is trying to get some newer tones out of it. Let me know if you're using Nolly and digging it, and let me know if you've moved on to the others. I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers!